NBC Connecticut exclusive. We're hearing now from the Department of Children and Families about their involvement with a family of that 3-year-old who died after getting hit by a vehicle. Today, NBC Connecticut's Len Bestoff sat down with Ken Meisegland, the head of external affairs at the department. We'll get into the interview in just a moment. First, though, we have breaking news in the investigation. NBC Connecticut's Melissa Cooney is live in Manchester, where police just released the name of that little girl. Melissa.
Yeah, police say that her name is Akari Cortes. They say she's 3 years old from Manchester. Really just a sad story happening here in this community. But we still have more questions than answers at this point. For example, police have not released the name of the parents. We don't know where the little girl came from, meaning how far she may have traveled, appearing to be by herself to get to this point. We're also looking to learn more information about the entire circumstances of the event. Police haven't done an interview yet, and we have requested documentation connected to this crash. That hasn't been accepted yet either, so still looking for a lot more. Flowers, tiaras, and stuffed animals, just some of the items displayed at the scene where 3-year-old Akari Cortes was hit and killed on East Center Street Wednesday morning. This memorial has only grown since the incident.
Tragic for our whole community. I think our whole community is suffering right now.
A troubling reminder of a young life lost. This is a video from Faith McCann's business obtained by NBC Connecticut, showing police officers surveilling the crash area early Wednesday morning. We've been told by many neighbors that police were going door to door.
Our hearts are really hurting right now.
Thursday, police activity is much quieter as the community searches for answers.
Rather than casting blame, maybe, trying to see what we can do to help one another in our community, and that would, I think, do a lot more to honor this little girl and her memory.
And like I said earlier, we still have a lot of questions. We're hoping to get those from police as soon as we're able. We will bring you those answers when we get them. For now, we're live here in Manchester. Melissa Cooney, NBC Connecticut News.
Melissa, thanks. And we're also hearing from the Department of Children and Families about their involvement with the family of that 3-year-old. NBC Connecticut's Len Bestoff sat down with Ken Meisegland, head of external affairs for the department. So, Len, what did you learn?
Well, Len talked with Ken.
Yes.
And Mike, the thing is, this is an agency that, because of child confidentiality laws, you don't always get to understand what the agency is doing. And we tried to get a little bit of a look at that today. We talked about this case specifically, too, with Ken Meisegland. And we just wrapped up talking with him a short time ago. And what he told us is that the DCF received 2 reports about this girl in a very short period of time with allegations of neglect. He says those reports came from law enforcement.
DCF said it received reports on June 1st and June 5th about a lack of supervision. We wanted to learn more about what the investigation looked like once they received these reports. The agency wouldn't give us any other details about this case specifically, but did tell us what happens when it receives these kinds of reports. If it meets their criteria to investigate, it gets assigned 1 of 3 response times. Those are based on allegations, risk factors, and the history the department has had with the family, if any. Then a caseworker will go to the home and interview all of the children and adults who live there.
We will observe and assess the familial surroundings. Is it safe for the kids? Are there any other risk factors that we see?
Meisegland also tells us the DCF care line receives over 61,000 new reports of child abuse and neglect every year. Again, Meisegland couldn't provide any more details about this specific case, but says the department is working with law enforcement and did have contact with the family.
Can you confirm first that you did have contact with this family in Manchester?
We can confirm that we did.
Meisegland says generally the decision on whether to keep a child in the home or to remove them is always a tough one they know they'll be questioned on.
What we don't want is for one bad outcome on a case to dramatically swing the pendulum in one way or another. In years past, when a fatality occurred, we saw a dramatic spike in children being removed at our agency. We don't want to become risk adverse. We want to look at the situation. We want to learn from it.
It is worth noting, this is the 3rd child in 4 months that has died within a short time of being that child's family, being in contact with DCF. And these are tough decisions to make, and the agency certainly does assessments every time something like this happens.
You don't envy the investigators who have to try to look into these cases because there are feelings involved. Families could be hiding something. It could be nothing altogether, and you would get blamed either way. It's almost unprecedented that he sat down with us. It's really interesting to hear the process of what they have to go through.
You know, they're trying to put more of a human face on this, and he does say also that the agency, that a lot of these people are really tore up right now about everything that's going on, as you would understand.
Yeah, and you can understand the loss of a 3-year-old is heartbreak for pretty much everybody.
Yes.
Thank you, Lynn.